Bubba Wallace. Leaving. 2 words. No official confirmation. No owner statement. No contract story. Just 2 words circulating through NASCAR's ecosystem like wildfire. And they started spreading less than 1 hour after a qualifying crash at Sonoma Raceway. But just 7 days before that crash, this same driver finished second in the most dramatic comeback of the 2026 season. So how does a driver go from a career-defining moment to contract speculation in less than 1 week? That is exactly what this video will answer, and it goes far deeper than one bad lap. If this kind of story is what you want more of, hit that like button and subscribe right now. Every single subscriber genuinely helps. Let's get into it. Going into Sonoma, Bubba Wallace was not a driver in crisis. He was a driver with momentum. The week before, he had finished third at Michigan, the first of back-to-back top fives. Then came Naval Base Coronado. On lap 19, a loose right front wheel forced him to pit road and earned him a 2-lap penalty. 2 crew members were suspended by NASCAR. By every measure, that race was over before it started. Wallace refused to quit. He charged through the field on speed, strategy, and sheer will and finished second, a career-best result on a street course. He jokingly compared himself to Formula One great Lewis Hamilton, dubbing his alter ego Bubba Hamilton. His teammate Corey Heim won his first career Cup Series race, giving 23XI Racing their first ever 1-2 finish. Wallace sat 11th in points, alive in the playoff picture. But even in that moment of triumph, he couldn't shake what slipped away. "It's what if," he said. Tired of living in that. A man on the rise, haunted by what could have been, and about to face something far worse. At Sonoma, the signs were genuinely promising. Wallace ran 4th fastest in practice. The team was confident. Placed in Group 2 of qualifying. His first lap produced a time of 1 minute and 15.887 seconds, slotting him provisionally inside the top 10. Real speed. Real hope. Then came the second lap. Exiting turn 9, he ran slightly wide. The left rear of the Toyota dropped into the gravel runoff area, and all grip was gone in an instant. The car spun 180 degrees and went nose first into the safer barrier between turns 9 and 10. Wallace climbed out under his own power, but the car could not continue. The front-end damage was extensive. 23XI chose to repair the car rather than use a backup, but under NASCAR rules, unapproved repairs meant starting from the rear of a 36-car field. Dead last. He was also already working with replacement crew members because of the suspensions carried over from San Diego. Before qualifying, he had acknowledged the difficulty. "It's unfortunate for our 23 group, but these guys have been practicing. It sucks." He wasn't alone at the back. Eric Jones and Noah Gregson were also sent to the rear, but none of that softened the blow. The crash hurt more because the numbers made it impossible to dismiss. Across 37 NASCAR Cup Series road course starts, Wallace's career average finish sits at 21.8. His next best surface, 1 to 2 mile ovals, averages 19.8. His overall career average across 308 races stands at 19.5. Road courses are statistically his worst surface. Sonoma specifically ranks as his worst track, with an average finish of 24.0 at any track with 7 or more starts, only 3 top 20 finishes in 7 career starts, with his best result being 14th place. The 2026 NASCAR Cup Series schedule features only 4 road courses. Every single road course race carries double the weight for this team. They burned one before the green flag even dropped. The cruelest part? Wallace had predicted this himself after San Diego. "I thought about that when we're 2 laps down. Maybe my Sonoma weekend will go better because that place kicks my ass." He called it, and it happened anyway. The crash was barely an hour old before the speculation started. Nobody official said it. No owner confirmed it. No contract story broke. But once those words start circulating in NASCAR, they almost never stop on their own. 3 camps formed immediately. The first pushed back hard. He finished second last week. One crash doesn't erase a season. Where is the actual evidence? The second camp saw a pattern forming, arguing that Sonoma didn't create the pressure. It exposed how much was already there. The third offered the clearest perspective. Wallace's value to 2311 was never just statistics. Leadership, visibility, sponsorships, and performance all factor in. As one respected reporter stated plainly, until there is actual evidence, it is still speculation, not a contract story. So which is it? Overreaction or legitimate concern? To answer that, you have to understand the Tyler Reddick comparison. 2311 Racing was built for championships. That was always the standard. In 2026, Reddick delivered race wins, championship-caliber speed, and consistent front-running results. Even after Coronado, where he publicly accepted responsibility for late mistakes, his narrative didn't collapse. The critical question formed naturally. Why does one driver's bad weekend spark a contract story while the other's fades by Monday morning? The answer is not about talent. It is about expectations. As one reporter framed it directly, the conversation around Bubba Wallace is not only about results anymore. Expectations at 2311 have become just as big as the performances themselves. This isn't about whether Wallace is good enough. It's about whether the expectations surrounding him have grown so large that no single result, good or bad, can ever fully satisfy them. There's a clear reason the scrutiny is heavier on Bubba Wallace than on almost anyone else. Wallace is the only black driver racing full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series. He is one of NASCAR's most recognizable personalities and biggest marketing figures. Television cameras follow him more closely than almost anyone else in the field. Radio conversations receive more attention. Similar incidents involving other drivers often disappear within one news cycle. His mistakes become headlines. This doesn't excuse poor performance, but it explains why the volume is always louder around him. That is context, not excuse. And yet, while fans speculated about an exit, the commercial investment told the opposite story. Upper Deck announced a Space Jam paint scheme for the number 23 Toyota at Chicagoland Speedway on July 5th, honoring the 30th anniversary of the 1996 film that famously starred co-owner Michael Jordan. Jason Mishira, president of Upper Deck, stated, "This is a massive celebration of fandom. Space Jam is an iconic movie that spans multiple generations." Steve Lauletta, president of 2311, added, "Our partnership with Upper Deck continues to result in one-of-a-kind memorabilia that expands well beyond just a racetrack." The point is simple. Companies do not put Space Jam on a car they are walking away from. That is a commercial vote of confidence wrapped in a purple paint scheme. But what sponsors believe and what fans fear can exist in completely different worlds in NASCAR. The team's own words offered something, but also left something unsaid. 2311 Racing's official account posted, "Tough break in qualifying, but we've overcome adversity before. The team will get the number 23 ready and will fight from the back tomorrow. That's what this group does." Denny Hamlin kept it direct. One qualifying crash doesn't define a season. Keep your head down, fix the car, execute the strategy, and go race. Tyler Reddick added, "Road courses punish every mistake. Bubba had speed all weekend. Tomorrow is about maximizing every lap and staying in the fight." Notice what none of those statements said. Nobody talked about the future. Nobody talked about the contract. Nobody said 2311 is committed to Bubba Wallace long-term. They addressed the crash. They addressed Sunday. Everything beyond that was left completely untouched. In NASCAR, what organizations choose not to say is sometimes louder than what they do, though it is worth being honest. This is interpretation, not proof of anything. The facts as they stand support stability over collapse. Wallace is still a 2311 racing driver. He remains in the provisional playoff picture. No contract dispute has been confirmed. No exit has been announced. He signed a multi-year contract extension with the team back in 2024. Corey Heim is set to join as a full-time teammate in 2027, driving the new number 35 Toyota. These are the moves of an organization building forward, not tearing down. As one veteran reporter put it plainly, the crash changes Wallace's starting position, not necessarily his playoff outlook. Bubba Wallace has answered his critics before. He turned Naval Base Coronado into a career moment when most people expected him to disappear in the chaos. But even in that career best moment, he carried the weight of what slipped away. It's what if. Tired of living in that. The question is not whether Bubba Wallace can bounce back. The real question is whether bouncing back is still enough inside an organization that was never built to settle for anything less than a championship. That question doesn't get answered at Sonoma. It only gets louder. One crash didn't end his contract. Sponsors are still lining up behind him. But the expectations surrounding Bubba Wallace have become something no single weekend, good or bad, can fully satisfy. This channel is brand new. And if you made it this far, you already know the kind of content we're building here. We are genuinely trying to reach 2,000 subscribers, and every like and subscription from you makes that possible. It costs nothing and means everything. So if this video delivered, please show that support right now. Does Bubba Wallace have what it takes to secure his future at 23-11 racing? Or is Sonoma the turning point this season that his team simply cannot afford? Drop your take in the comments below. Are people overreacting? Or is there legitimate fire behind this smoke? Let's hear what you really think.